What's going on? Is this thing on? Yeah, it is. There it is. What's happening, everybody? Everybody, Scarlett, Sandra, Isabel, Maya Macabre, Trisha, hey Vicky, Rosina, Elsa, Edma, Lori, Erica, June. I'm not hiding. I'm not hiding. Just getting things ready, that's all. Felia Ramos, hey there. Denise, hey, what's up? Kiss my grits. Welcome. Gloria Split. Hello, everyone. What
Hey,
up?
what's going on? We live already?
We is live.
Oh, how's it going, everyone in the chat, everyone watching?
Uh, we're gonna pick up a little more. Hey, Chuck is here. Chuck is in the house. Ileana, Una Hora is here. Lucy, Gloria Sparks, Melissa. Outsider is Rosie. Some new faces or some new names.
Awesome.
Should I say? Could I say some of them are just different profile names? Maybe.
Right?
What?
Same faces, new names.
Luke. What? What are you talking about, Luke? Honeybee, Debbie. Yeah, I found these tunes and so far I'm liking them.
Oh, Isabel's here. Hey, Isabel.
So, this morning went live for a quick little, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Had some interesting conversation, and I should have gone back to listen to it. Because you know me already. I don't want to offend anybody at all whatsoever.
Yeah. Definitely.
And so some stuff was said, and I get it. The whole point is, all right. So, and I don't want to get into what constitutes. Is that too loud still? Yeah, there you go. I don't want to get into what constitutes hate speech or speech that's insulting, right?
Exactly.
Um,
Or speech that offends. Not really insulting, like, because people could get
okay,
offended even without it being an insult.
I get that. I'll go with that. Speech that offends. And so there's a fine line where some people may get offended, but not necessarily because they're snowflakes or because they just get triggered for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have a legitimate, whether it's a complex or a feeling, a certain issue going on within them that, something could be taken as offensive. And something we talked about earlier today, it didn't rub some people. It rubbed people the wrong way a little bit.
I get it.
Not to the point where they said, Victor's an asshole or nothing like that.
Oh my gosh.
But I mean, there's a lot of people out there with a lot of stuff going on, and just like some of the memes that are out there say, when you see that dude, be careful because you don't know what he's going through right now. You have no idea what he's going through. And so anyway, the topic came up. We were talking about Jada Pinkett Smith, what happened last night at the Oscars, and you made a comment, something to the effect of when she went bald, why did she put on a wig or something like that? Do you remember that?
Yeah, and I think whoever was offended by it didn't hear like what I said afterwards. I wasn't saying that, oh, she should wear a wig if she's bald. I said that she's owning it, she's rocking it, she's I can't even think of the word. But basically that she's not trying to hide it, and I gave her credit for that, that she's a strong woman. And I said if she wanted to hide it, or if she didn't want people talking about it, she would have worn a wig. But she's embracing it. That's the word I was thinking of, embracing it.
Yeah.
And like that's completely different versus, her trying to hide it. So I think that's probably where people got upset. Like maybe they just came in and heard me say that and not what followed it.
So okay, gotcha. And honestly, I don't think you were trying to offend anybody, or I don't believe you to be like that, right?
Hmm.
So my question is, when it comes to comedians or people that it's their business to talk about, to get people to laugh or to be provocative, and by provocative I mean to get people to possibly to get a reaction from them, like an anger reaction or
Yeah.
some kind of reaction, so that people will start a dialogue, a conversation. Uh, do you believe, just in your opinion, straight up opinion,
Hmm.
and I'm going to ask everybody else too, is it off limits for a comic, for a comedian? And we'll take Chris Rock for example, or you could take Dave Chappelle for that matter too,
Hmm.
to not target certain groups, and by groups I mean the handicapped, people's kids, and granted, some people insult because they got a beef,
Hmm.
but then comics just insult because it's a joke and it could be funny. Are handicapped people exempt from that? People with disabilities, or women or men that are sick. I mean, should those people really be off the table when it comes to humor in this case?
I think looking at it, it's not the subject, it's the meaning behind it. Like you said, like there's sometimes where it's out of hate, where people will talk about kids or talk about like spouses and stuff like that. Like that's off limits. But if it's a comedian who's just doing it as his job, doing it to entertain, um, I don't think it should be off limits. If it's if like Dave Chappelle's been known to be like a nice guy, but when he's on stage doing his thing, he goes not after, but he'll talk about the LGBTQ. He'll talk about handicap, but he does it like in good spirits. He doesn't mean anything negative about it. He doesn't do it. It's not coming from a place of hate.
Yeah.
So I think as long as the source isn't, out of somewhere that's hateful or wants to, insult someone, I think it should be okay. But once it gets like a personal issue, like let's say Chris Rock really did have something against Jada Pickett and the rest of the Smith family, well, yeah, that would have been seen as hateful and it wouldn't have been the way it is now.
Do you believe that that was live action, not scripted, like it was not set up?
I I feel like it is because no one's been talking about the Oscars lately. Like it's a dead award show. Like no one cares about the Oscars that much anymore.
Yeah.
So I feel like okay, maybe they did it to spark something because I've never seen anyone talk about the Oscars the way they are now. So I
Right.
think
Yeah.
maybe it was scripted. Uh, Especially like since I said since Will was able to go back, no security got involved, no one went to go talk about him. Like I feel like it was maybe just part of the show.
So it's been said, people were thinking, yeah, you know what, this was all set up, completely set up. And, Chris Rock didn't flinch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he bent over because of the force of the hit,
Yeah.
but I don't even know if he even moved his feet. I don't think he lost a step.
No.
It looked hard, forceful, but he didn't get knocked down or nothing. He just, whoa, or whatever he said.
Yeah, it seems a little bit like he braced himself before, but at the same time, like if you know you're gonna get hit, like you do brace yourself. So that's come on, like okay, he could have braced because it was scripted, or he could have braced because he knows he stepped over a line and he was gonna take what was coming to him.
Okay, I see
So
somebody put a comment there. Since it's almost April Fool's, maybe it was an early April Fool's joke.
yeah,
I
and
would hate to think it was for publicity. Although There's another documentary I saw last night, which was the whole Janet Jackson thing. Remember with the nipple and the Super Bowl? We'll get to that in a minute. And like we said earlier today, any publicity is good publicity, whether it's bad or good or something bad happened. Will Smith. Okay, the problem I have with what happened last night. These people are always talking about no violence, no violence. Communicate, make your point a different way. Yeah, there he goes up on the stage and he smacks Chris Rock. There was a deaf person who won an Academy Award.
Yes.
You know who else won his first Academy Award?
Who?
Samuel Jackson.
Yeah.
Nobody heard about that. Everybody forgot about it because
I thought that part wasn't televised. The whole moment with Denzel and Sam Jackson.
Well, I don't know if it was, but it was announced.
Yeah, it was.
It may not have been told. Yeah.
Yeah, like the moment wasn't shown, which I think is like a robbery to all of us. Because I mean, having Denzel, Sam Jackson on stage, Sam Jackson winning an Oscar, like I think that should have been like the main point of the Oscars, like the main thing that everyone's talking about. But this just goes to show, like, the drama and arguments and stuff is what takes center stage, regardless of what good things are happening in the background.
Yeah, and it sucks that people didn't really. A lot of people don't even remember or didn't know that Samuel L. Jackson got his first ever Academy Award, and that's awesome. And I like Samuel Jackson. I'm glad he won finally for something. I think he deserved a few more in the past, but. Hang on, let me get rid of these freaking commercials. I should just subscribe back again. And just it overshadowed a lot of good things that happened with the Academy Awards. I know people don't watch anymore. It's gotten too political and all that crap. Now, hate speech is a whole other thing. People on my page, I'm not going to say who you are. You're on there somewhere. But he made a comment. He was talking about Russia, and he made a comment about what should happen, and then he got Facebook jail. And it's not because somebody reported him, but I think there were a few trigger words that the system picked up on, and that would be considered hate speech. Like talking about war and that kind of thing. So if anybody who's got I don't know. Shit, how'd I do this? I guess you don't have to fess up or anything, but if you've got some kind of affliction, or imagine if you did, would you be okay? I mean, okay, first of all, the joke, I don't think it was that horrible. And then after...
Like, if anything, I felt like it wasn't even a creative joke. I feel like that was, it wasn't even a big thing.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. It wasn't that bad. It was almost like, yeah, you shouldn't have said that, but not because it was offensive, more because it was not great.
Yeah, it was like a dad joke, like, because even Chris Rock said it, and then he just shook his head, like, like it wasn't a good joke. Like that joke, like, y'all shouldn't be laughing. It's not a good joke.
But if anybody has alopecia or any other affliction or a condition, right? That skin condition where patches of your skin is like whited out and stuff. I forget what that's called. Or even like albinoism. I think, is albinoism a word, the right word? I know albino is a word, but albinoism?
I don't think it is, but I mean, everyone understands what you're trying to say.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Not poking fun. I know there's a word for it, but
yeah.
I mean, growing up, when I was a little kid, even then I didn't make fun of it. I would stare and look at them as strange because I didn't understand. And then my mom explained that there's this condition of the skin and they're called albinos. But they're no different. They're just like you. They just have a little problem with their skin. And the ones I learned about it. But I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard anybody making fun of like an albino person. You know what I mean? I don't think I've ever heard a comedian even go that far to do that, unless I've missed it. And I could. I haven't watched everything under the planet forever.
No, I know. Not another teen movie makes a joke out of it, but it's not towards them. It's not towards an albino person. Like it's like I said in a good spirited way. Because like I don't know if you've seen that movie. They're trying to pick someone like for the guy to date, and there's an albino girl with a guitar, and they're all like, "Doesn't matter, any chick with a guitar is hot." And then like it's just an albino girl like playing the guitar in the background. Like
Oh,
it was lighthearted. It wasn't like oh let's make fun of them because they're albino. It's like let's make fun of this person just who happens to be albino. And then the outsiders, what's up, outsiders? Name that skin condition you were mentioning, where it's like the white. It's like a skin pigmentation.
oh, somebody put it there. Marley, thank you. Vitiligo, vitiligo.
Yeah,
Yes, that's what it is. And I've seen some. I'll say women. I know there's men too, but I'll leave that for somebody else. I've
hmm
seen some really beautiful women that have that, and I don't know,
yeah,
that doesn't bother me one bit at all.
yeah.
Um, and I don't think I would make fun of them because of that.
No,
And I don't know if and then you got and not that I'm trying to start something, but there are people that go at it against each other and a lot of name calling and then you involve people's kids. It's like, all right, that's a whole other uh
yeah,
if I see it, if I got a beef with you, I got a beef with you only. Not with your mom, not with your wife, not with your brother, not with your son or your kid, your daughter, whatever.
yeah,
I think a beef should be contained to that, and exclude anyone else and work it out. At least that's what I think. I don't know. And the problem is that people go at it, and then it just gets out of control at it, and then it's like, who started it? I don't know, and it just exploded to whatever it is.
yeah.
And
I think the key to it is if there's retaliation. Once you retaliate back and say like, okay, I'm in this, like I'm gonna go at you too, then that's where the lines start becoming a little fuzzy on what's off the table and what's on the table.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I had someone go after my fiance, my wife, in like comments and stuff. I was like, hey, she's not involved in this. She doesn't come out of my videos. Like, if you have beef with me, let's keep it between us.
yeah.
Now, if I would have gone back and started speaking about them and their family, like then yeah, the match starts. Like gloves are off. Everyone could go after whatever.
Yeah. So if anybody can you imagine having an affliction like that, like alopecia? First of all,
hmm
I mean, some people just don't care. They shave and go bald, but I was educated today by a lot of people, including here in my house, that women physical appearance, especially their hair, is a very sensitive topic.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
almost their hair is almost their identity, and that's for guys too. I mean, my hair, I care about my hair so much. Like I'm very specific on products and stuff like that because I love my hair. So I get why that would be a sensitive issue for some.
So is hair is it okay for a comic? But okay, and then again, we're just talking about regular people
hmm
getting on each other. But what about when it comes to a comic like Chris Rock, like we said, Dave Chappelle, or anybody? Do we give them that slack because that's their job? I mean, you go and pay him. You go to watch. You pay $40 or $50 to go watch him at a concert, and basically he's insulting everybody, and I
Yeah.
mean everybody. You know, is that acceptable? Just because he does it for a living? And even then, is it okay for him to? I don't know how many of you have seen the Eddie Murphy stand up. I keep talking about it. It's called Delirious. It's on Netflix. But he talked about everybody. He didn't care, and you know what? And nobody cared.
Well, when it comes to comedians, like you kind of need to know what type of comedian you're going to see. Like Dave Chappelle, it's going to be raw. Versus if you go to like a comedian like John Mulaney, like he's like family friendly. He gets into some dark spots, but most of it is family friendly. So he's not going to go attack the audience or like pick on the audience and have like a little roast session. Dave Chappelle, he will. So at that point, it's on you if you want to use your money to go see this person speak this way, or rather spend it to go see this person speak this way.
Yeah, and Now, so you specifically, and I asked everybody else, how did you feel about that joke? Did you really think it was that bad?
No.
Because the reason I'm saying is that I started seeing some memes that came out, or some I want to say screenshots of information
Mm-hmm.
that it had deeper meaning. It wasn't necessarily about her hair. It was about something else having to do with somebody from the movie G.I. Jane and Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah,
It was,
I saw that there's like some similarities in the actresses and stuff like that. I think people are just reading too much into it at that point. I think it was just a simple GI Jane joke, and that's it.
and do you think I'll say this again, and you guys know me already. I don't criticize and insult anybody. Well, almost don't, right? I think maybe 99% of the time, 0.999, I don't. I don't think it was that big. I think they drew more attention to it by Will going off.
Yeah.
If Will would not have gone off, and might have made a nice, a very strong statement afterwards, something very polite that said Chris Rock was an asshole for saying this. This is a
Mm-hmm.
medical condition, blah blah blah. That would have been, I think, more effective against Chris Rock than making a fool of yourself walking on stage.
Yeah.
And he's not going to get arrested. They already said no charges, and they've since he apologized to him already, apparently, and they shook. I don't know if they shook hands, but they apologized, and he forgave him, and
Like
just
everything
so,
was cool between them at the end.
yeah. And P Diddy reported that. P Diddy, I don't know if he had something to do with it, but he says I can confirm everything was fine. Da, da, da.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Was Will picking on him too because Chris Rock is a little guy compared to Will Smith? If I'm not mistaken, Will Smith is 6 foot 6'2", maybe 6 feet at least. Anyway, yeah, check it
Yeah, at
out.
least 6.
Somebody said, "What if it was my wife?" See, but I have a different take on things.
Oh, Will Smith is 6'2", by the way.
6'2",
Yeah.
6'3". Somebody asked, "What if it's your family or your wife?" I'm like, you know what? But I got a different way of handling things. I don't care, and they don't care. They're just like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah, and this brings it back to like it depends where the joke is coming from. Like if it's coming from a place of hate or to insult them. If Chris Rock's intentions was to embarrass the family and stuff, he could have done way worse than just GI Jane. He could have brought up like the whole entanglement. Will Smith's pictures have been used in so many memes. He could have brought that out to embarrass him, but he was just doing the show, doing his job. Like, and I think that's something that people aren't thinking about.
Yeah, and remember, Chris Rock was not a host. He was just a presenter in this case. He was not hosting the whole Oscars. And I know some people are not aware of that. Somebody said, "What about you and your family?" You know what? I'll say something. I may say something, but I'm not going to go up and try to, smack somebody down. It's just,
Yeah,
it's just not worth it.
yeah, like I said earlier, like that was Will acting out of emotions. Like that was the action of a boy, not the actions of a man. Like a man would have let it pass, go one on one, just talk it out, say, hey, that was pretty messed up of you. Don't do it again, or next time I will pop you, kind of thing.
Or something, yeah.
Yeah, or like just something like that. Like be a man, have a one on one conversation. Like not everything has to be fists first or violence first.
And the other problem with this, which somebody's bringing up right there, David brought it up. The other problem with this is that, that Will Smith can get away with this. Can he just get up there and the only repercussion is the Academy is looking into it, and they don't condone the violence. They don't agree with it. What did I just say? They don't agree with the violence, and they were upset at what happened. And that's it. I mean, nobody's, the people who usually say no violence, peace, no violence, are okay with him doing what he did. And I think that's a huge double standard.
Exactly.
And again, it's Hollywood again, and they get to do whatever they want to do, and yeah, Chris Rock.
Looking for royalty-free
Chris
music?
Rock should have come back with something, like, "Yeah, I'm still standing right here. I haven't even moved my feet."
Yeah. Or about like, oh, it looks like me and Will got into an entanglement here on stage. Like something like that. Like if he wanted to, disrespect them, which it wasn't his intention.
But did you see when he cracked that joke, and they went right to see that's what's shady. That he cracked a joke, but the camera was already there, right at their table.
Yeah.
It's not like the camera was, you see sometimes the camera looking for somebody. No,
Hmm.
the camera was right there, already on Will's table. So it's like, what?
Yeah.
Doesn't that tell you it was maybe staged?
Yeah, or at least scripted. I mean, the whole what everyone
Yeah.
said was scripted on there. The action, I don't know. It might be scripted too, but like the camera guys were already ready. Like they're like, okay, he's gonna make this joke. Let's show their reactions and move on to the next part of this show.
Yep. And to me, that's like, I don't know. the and I can understand, I guess, having to do something to create ratings,
Yeah.
but something like this kind of violence, and that's violence. He smacked him pretty hard. At least I thought he did. But Chris Rock didn't seem to phase him too much. He didn't even touch his face, like to see if he was bleeding or anything like that.
Yeah.
He
Well,
didn't.
part of it might have been shock. Like, I mean, I've been like punched upside my head, and like it just takes a second. Like, okay, did that really happen? Like, okay, now I need to get involved, kind of thing. So maybe it
Yeah.
might have just been shock, or they rehearsed it. He had already been slapped a couple of times. He knew, like, Will was holding back, and that could have been it. That's just one theory. It's not my theory, but it's one that I've heard.
Yeah. So let's take the topic of, I call this sensationalism. Anything to draw an audience. So this happened yesterday, right? Now, what about Janet Jackson Super Bowl,
Hmm.
the wardrobe malfunction?
The
Do you
famous
think?
one.
Yeah. Do you think that was planned? In your opinion, just from what you know about it?
From what I know about it, yes,
That it was planned.
that it was planned.
So apparently, whatever you want to call that nipple ring or decoration, whatever that was.
Like a pasty, whatever it is.
No, it was metal. It was not a pasty.
Oh,
I mean, it might have been pasted on, possibly. Yeah,
yeah.
that was purchased earlier that day,
Hmm.
and one of the roadies or whatever, they went out to get it and they brought it back. So, shit, it's too loud. So, what's his name? Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
He had to fly in from somewhere for the event.
Hmm.
So they didn't even. They rehearsed earlier in the week, like once, but then they changed the whole scene and it was something else. So he didn't really rehearse what was happening then, right then and there. He came in to talk to her for a few minutes, and then he left. This is before the halftime show, and then it happened. And right at the very end, the look on her face, the look on his face. So there's a documentary out there about what's it called, Disrobing Janet or something like that. I don't know if it's on Netflix or Hulu. Hulu, I think.
It's Hulu.
And it's not fair what happened after that. Basically, Janet Jackson got blacklisted from a lot of things.
Yep.
Justin Timberlake came back to the Super Bowl next year, and he got a record deal or a contract or whatever. Everything for him went like this, and everything for Janet went like this.
Hmm.
I think, why is that? Especially if they were both involved. And right after the performance, the camera was back there. Oh, so what happened? Hey, whatever happened, you got to keep it. And it sounded like he knew, like it didn't bother him or something.
From what I've heard in interviews, is that it was planned, but it wasn't known to the rest of the show. It was known between Justin and Janet. They're like, oh, we're gonna do this, like we're gonna surprise everyone, and like it's gonna be a big moment. We're gonna do it. because after that happened, since Justin Timberlake was like an NSYNC, there was another NSYNC member that was having a concert like somewhere else in the country, and all this was happening, and he got his show canceled. So when Justin finds out, he calls him. He's like, "Hey, I'm sorry. I wouldn't have done that if I knew it was going to affect you. Like, I know you're trying to do your thing. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry that like this thing that we, this stunt we pulled affected you." So like he was admitting that he was in on it, like that he knew about it. He just didn't think it was going to blow up as much as it did.
Yeah, after watching that documentary, I think it was not fair to Janet Jackson. Was it the white privilege thing? Everything was with Justin was okay and fine. Was it a racial thing? People had his back, but they didn't have her back. And she's the one. She's the one who took a lot of the hit on this. And
yeah, and that's because it was her body. Like she was treated completely unfairly. Like I feel it should have been Justin who got the bad end. Like, oh, he's ripping women's clothes off on stage.
Yeah, even though that's what it looked like he did. He went over there, he grabbed it to peel it, and he pulled it back. That's what happened. How can she not know about it? And then after the fact, she disappeared. They were trying to talk to her, see if she's okay, how she was, and she left the place. I think it was planned. I don't think she thought it was going to go as the way it did against, anti Janet Jackson for a long time.
Yeah.
And the fact that they brought him back for the next Super Bowl. I mean, you want to talk about white privilege or white Hollywood privilege? That was just not right. I mean, she got turned down. She didn't do a movie after that at all. And she was only on TV here and there for interviews. And every time she interviewed, they wanted to talk. David Letterman, remember David Letterman?
Yeah.
He was asking her, well, what happened there? Was it the wardrobe or did they, and she didn't want to talk about it. She was uncomfortable talking about it. And I don't know if I'm convinced that it was on purpose or an accident, or it was on purpose. They really let her take the fall for it. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And that sucks because she's put out a lot of good music. The whole beginning of that documentary was talking about the album that she had out just before all that came out, and when she came out as a solo artist and all that, when she got old enough, and she was dropping hits all over the place. She was dropping a lot of good music everywhere, and
yeah, like her career shouldn't have stopped there, because I'm seeing here she was blacklisted from CBS, MTV, radio stations, and she was supposed to perform at the Grammys that year, and she was taken off of that.
Yeah, I think she recalled she called it. She decided not to do the Grammy show, but whether or not that happened or not, who knows how that happened. The point is, everything was anti-Janet, and everything was, praise. What's his name? Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, which isn't fair. Like I don't agree with that at all.
But what's happened? What do you think? I know we had this discussion before one time. I don't know if you were in on it. What happened to people that they're so thin-skinned now? Nowadays, everything is different. Back in the days of Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, what's the dude, the older white guy who passed away recently, the comedian
Andrew Dice Clay?
No, the older one. Oh my goodness, I can't remember. The older, hang on.
I know who you're talking about. He came out like in a lot of Kevin Smith movies.
Yes.
I
don't know if I'm going to find it in time. Not Louis Anderson. Before that, the older guy. Oh man, I can't think of it. Somebody help me out here. I can't think of the guy's name.
I'm going to find it before you. I'm racing.
Race it. Richard Carlin.
No,
George Carlin.
George Carlin. I called it first.
Christy, you almost had it. You were close. George Carlin,
awesome. Like, not awesome that he died. Like, he's just an awesome actor and comedian.
Yeah, and he was awesome. And a lot of comedians they had a lot of sensitive material. Again, I refer you to Eddie Murphy's Delirious. He went off on everybody. And the gays heavily on the LGBTQ.
And then Chris is mentioning Norm Macdonald. He passed away recently. He was a pretty raw comedian.
Very, yeah, he was. And I don't know if you heard the comedy from Bob Saget. Have you
Yeah,
ever seen his stand up? Have you ever seen his first
yeah,
stand up ever?
yeah, like completely opposite of what he was on Full House. Like he
Oh
was,
my goodness.
yeah, he was. It made him seem like a really bad guy, but he had like the whole Danny Tanner and America's Home Videos to fall on. So like okay, maybe he's not so bad, but his comedy was pretty raunchy.
Yeah. In fact, people say, "Oh man, rest in peace, rest in peace." Even I said it
Hmm.
because he was good on Full House.
Yeah,
But
that's how everyone remembers him.
if you watch his stand up, it was creepy.
Yeah,
I mean, he talked about his daughter's parts and all, and it was like, man, even for me, a guy, I'm a man's man, and I'll talk locker room talk with anybody. But I was shocked when I heard that, and I was like, "Whoa, should I turn the volume down on this?" That's how bad it was.
yeah.
So it caught me off guard. But go back and listen to some Richard Pryor. Look at the Saturday Night Live clip I play sometime. Every once in a while, I'll post it. Richard Pryor with Chevy Chase on Saturday Night Live.
Oh yeah.
And they use the N word and all these other terms, and it's a little skit, and everybody laughs. The audience is going crazy, but that skit is still there, and it's still funny. And now
It is.
I'm surprised they haven't canceled that. But what's happened to people that are gotten so? I'm not saying Jada Pinkett Smith is thin-skinned, because now I'm starting to think it was more staged. I'm starting to think that more and more.
Same.
I mean, literally, as every few minutes goes by, we talk about this. I'm starting to think it was scripted, even to the point where the Academy made a statement. Will Smith offered a formal apology to Chris Rock. I think he did it on Instagram. There's another one, Andrew Dice Clay. You guys heard Andrew Dice Clay? Just a lot of cussing, mostly. A lot of cussing.
His whole persona was pretty funny though.
Andrew Dice Clay was a character, that's for sure. But what about how about the other guy? The guy who yells all the time. The guy who yells at the top of his lungs. He was in Rodney Dangerfield movie.
The guy who yells.
Yeah, he's always yelling. He's like, oh! Look up the cast of Back to School.
Oh, that
Why am I forgetting these names, man?
I know, and we've talked about these guys before.
People know who I'm talking about.
That Sam Kinison. There we go.
Sam Kinison. Okay, this music is just too freaking loud, and it's way at the bottom level of the low. Okay, Sam Kinison would talk all that kind of stuff. Women. He wasn't anti-woman, but he would talk a lot of misogynistic stuff.
Yeah.
Sam was awesome. Just the fact that he would scream. He was real funny, and people found him offensive too back then. And people were offended, but not to the point where it's like, no, yeah, cancel culture. Come and shut him down and try to end his career.
Yeah.
I think that there's entertainment for everyone. And if you don't like it, you can change a channel or watch something else. But I believe in free speech. And like I said, there's an audience for everything, and there's a need for everything. And don't try to end somebody's career just because something is offensive to you.
Just because you don't like it doesn't mean you should take it from everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, that includes me too. At some point, I know I'm going to stick my foot in my mouth and say something stupid, which I'm sure I won't mean, but I'm going to say something stupid at some point because everybody does.
Yeah.
And if I offend somebody, I'm sorry, I offended. I said it for whatever the reason. See, I'm apologizing for something that hasn't even happened yet.
Because it's gonna happen.
How do you like that?
Yeah, just like how someone was offended, with something I said earlier. Like, okay, my bad, but I tried to correct it. I took it in. I didn't like go on the attack or anything. Like, okay, if I did something wrong, I apologize.
Yeah, and I don't, if anybody ever gets offended by stuff, know that I didn't mean it. I don't, I know that people have different struggles, right? We have no idea what my neighbor or crowd, the lady across the street, I don't know what's going on. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, someone's asking for a look at my cup.
Is that from Voodoo? It said. Is that what it said?
Yeah, and the magic is in the hole.
That's funny. Yeah, no, that's not sexual at all, is it? Okay,
No.
so I forgot what we were talking about. I'm thinking about your donut hole now. But and I know you have to think about, hey, what's going on with people, and you don't want to offend everybody.
Hmm.
But how can you really know? You can't know what you can't live your life trying not to offend everybody. I mean, you can try to be a decent person and not offend people just because. That's one thing. But it's hard to live your life trying to watch what you say. I mean, if you watch what you say, you'd have to think of every topic imaginable and live your life going, okay, I can't talk about this or that or this or that or this or that.
Yeah.
I might offend one person out of 5,000 or out of 250,000. Is that a way to
No,
I
it
mean,
isn't, because that hinders the creativity. If you're having to like walk on eggshells your entire broadcast or your entire like creator career or whatever, like it's gonna hinder you to where you're just gonna be talking about like safe subjects, and the people don't want to talk about safe subjects. They want to talk about things that anger people and why they anger people and insulting these people, and like that's what it is.
yeah, you're right. Everybody's saying the cup threw us off. So yeah, the cup just
I know, my bad.
distracted. Cool cup though.
Thank you.
But yeah, I don't want to offend anybody ever. If how do I do this?
I was feeling that song.
Sometimes you're going to say things that not everybody's going to. How do I say this? I mean, it's going to trigger somebody, and I don't mean trigger in a bad way,
Mhm.
like a traditional way that she got triggered or he got triggered, but at least I don't. I don't mean it like intentionally negative to trigger somebody. I don't find myself to be provocative. In that I don't say things just to be provocative.
Mhm.
If somebody calls me provocative because they get triggered or whatever, then that's different. But I don't do things to just for the sake of being provocative, or I try to talk about things for people to talk, and that's what happens every time I post something. Everybody's giving their opinion, and they're talking, and everybody's looking at it, and that's what should happen. Understanding each other. You only do that by talking.
Yeah.
And it's just too much friction going on. And I don't know. There's too much crap going on this planet. A little less. What's the word? A little less. I don't want to call it hate, but a little less negative stuff would be nice.
Mhm.
It's like give it a rest, kind of. You know what I mean? Like, and by that, Dave Chappelle almost got canceled for that last one he did. What was that last one called?
That last one on Netflix.
The closer. The closer.
Yeah, someone mentioned it earlier, and I was going to bring it up, but the topic was changed already.
The closer. That's what we called the closer, and they were calling him, homophobe or transphobe.
Oh yeah.
And then, even though he told the story of his friend who was a trans person, and that person ended up committing suicide, and still, I mean, he talked. He was emotional when he talked about her, and still, people called him a transphobe just because he cracked jokes at her expense.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I go back to the whole thing. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to people at some point over the last 30 years. If even that much, maybe, yeah, about 30 years, something happened to people, or a generation was born that. And I always go back to the participation trophy era.
Yeah.
You remember that when people started people started giving awards to kids, even though they
Mm-hmm.
lost or they didn't do well. Well, you still get one because you were here anyway. So they gave
Yeah.
everybody got a trophy.
Yeah, like I was there when it happened because I started like in first grade with Boys and Girls Club playing baseball. Did it all the way to middle school. Did it all the way to high school till I was on varsity. And I remember there was a year, I think it was maybe 97, 98, where it went from only the champions get the trophy to where every single team, every single person on every team gets a trophy. And at the time I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, my team sucked. Like I got a trophy. Like I still have it.
Right?
But I think that like kind of sparked it, the whole snowflake generation.
Yeah, I mean, it's if you give trophies to the losers, how do they feel like they got to work better to try to win next time? They don't. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna get a trophy anyway. So, and so the one question came up is, how do we'll get to it is how do you handle criticism?
Hmm.
I said earlier, people who are in the public eye, guess what? You got to suck it up because you're putting your life out there. So the attacks are going to come. Will Smith and his wife, they put their whole entire life, even their intimate stuff,
Yeah.
is all out there. This is what we do. This is the arrangement. And they put it out there every day on a show, even, right? So it's like, how dare you get offended?
Hmm.
And then earlier also on a message was brought to me here. That's why we're kind of doing this topic. Is how do I feel when certain things are said or the memes going around or whatever? And I think for me, I laugh at them. I laugh at the things. Um, they don't bother me. I don't know what the culture is down here. I still don't know exactly, and I've been here for 22 years. I still don't know, but it doesn't get. I don't see it. I don't get it. I'm not impressed by it. People can say what they want. It doesn't bother me. Um, and how do you react to that? I mean, you get people who say shit about you or whatever they
Oh yeah,
say.
I've seen like a bunch of memes made out of me. I've seen people say like pretty horrible things about me, but it doesn't bother me because I know it's not true. It's just opinion. It's not fact. And I'm not going to argue with someone over their opinion and like change it just because I don't like it. Freedom of speech. They can say whatever they want. It sometimes when it gets personal, I'll just like take a step back and be like, okay, I probably pissed this person off, but it's one person out of the others that enjoy my content. So I'd rather focus on the ones who like the content rather than wonder why this person hates me and try and change their mind.
Yeah, the one thing you got to remember, and I've had to tell myself this a lot the last few weeks. You're not gonna make everybody happy, man, all the time.
Yeah.
You got two different sides or three different sides, sometimes telling you a different crap, and you just got to handle it the best way you like it, and whatever floats your boat. How you handle it yourself is that's only something that you know about for yourself is how to
Hmm.
handle a situation. And my thing is just to not even address it, just ignore it because it all comes from a bad place. And people try to get a reaction out of you,
Yeah.
and you can't always react. I had to bite my tongue this week a couple times, not out of anger, but because I just wanted to come back with a good comeback.
Yeah.
But even that I didn't. I was like, oh, and I wanted to, but you know what? It's not worth the sweat under my armpits.
Hmm.
It really isn't. And people can criticize all they want, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I keep going back to this same thing. I, I keep going back to the same thing, and I don't know if it is a cultural thing or not, but you can't offend me. I can't get offended. I don't get butthurt. I'm not from around here. I
Hmm.
didn't grow up with the novelas, and I'm from a different place, the hood. I was literally born in the hood, Chicago.
Yeah. You could just say you're built different.
Yeah, and I grew up different, and we fix our differences outside or with a conversation. Not in messaging wars or whatever you want to call them.
Hmm.
So I don't know. People don't like what I do, then they don't have to watch it. But obviously, people still watch it. So,
Yeah.
if I can teach them something, then that's cool. And I'll go back to this. There's value in everything. People like to watch certain things for whatever their reason is. I don't judge. If it's entertaining to them, all right, then that means somebody needs to be there doing it. And there's enough people doing that stuff. That's why I don't, like you and I talked about before, it's easy to jump into that and then get a big crowd.
Mm-hmm.
It's harder to look for good content and talk about people or certain situations or death row or whatever and get people interested in that. Then that's harder to do.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't want to keep repeating it, but I'm working on that, trying to take a show in a different direction. And I'll leave all that fun stuff for other people who are good at it, and they're great at it, and it works for them. So, and that works for them, and that doesn't mean that I support it or believe it all. Some of the stuff is shady to me or questionable, but still, you know what? Free speech, and let them do what they want. I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you, and people will not agree with me with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not about to shut any page down for any reason at all, unless there was something way criminal, violent, or stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just my opinion. Free speech.
Yeah. No, and I completely agree with you. And we've even spoken, off lives that like that's how we see it. Because when I did the drama thing and I would get involved, and there's times where I would like get into the arguments, not say anything against anyone, but I would just, embrace the chaos, if you want to call it that. And that, yeah, like the views would come up, the subscribers would come up. But the second I want to talk about something that I want to talk about, like a movie or like urban legends or true crime stuff, that's when you saw the subscribers leave. Like they didn't want that. So I'm not gonna, be a dancing monkey just to like amuse people. Like I'd rather focus on the audience that does like me as a creator, does like the content I have to say.
Yeah.
So that's why I stick true. Like I admit it, my stuff doesn't bring in views. My stuff doesn't, create 50 people watching, 100 people watching, like other platforms do. That's good for them. I don't hate them for it. I'm happy making my content, my small content, because at the end of it, I could end the live and sit back. That was an amazing show. Like I loved it.
Yeah.
Like I did a live like a few hours ago. I didn't have a lot of viewers, but like I was still interacting with anyone who commented, and we were like watching clips from Spider-Man and talking about the movie, and it was fun. Like I sat back, I was like, I could have gone another few hours on that. Like I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it is fun. And I guess, I don't know, now's a good time to bring stuff up like this since we're keeping it real. There's 3 right now pages out there that do their own thing. And one hasn't been doing so much lately, but they'll probably come back on and get back online and do shows. He's one of the reasons why he started all this, to be online. If he could do it, maybe, I'll try it. And then I started back then with RP, and then, that I branched off on my own. So at the time, he was somebody that, he could do it. I'm going to try it out too. And then I liked it. So I could say almost that he's, because of him, that's why I got into this business and I kept doing it. And then the other page, she does what she does, and people love it. And I guess I understand why they love it, but you know what? But there's a crowd for that. And she's providing a service that's needed and they like and they want. So there's that. And then now there's another page, and I don't agree with the content a lot of times, but that dude could be funny. If he left some stuff out, that dude could be funny. And I've talked about this before. There's a market for that too, and people like to watch that kind of stuff. And there's a place for everybody. And because I said that, it doesn't mean, I don't single out one. I support everybody's right to free speech and what they want to do. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I wish there wasn't friction. It'd be nicer if everybody was like, oh, group hug and be all
Yeah, like
be nice and friendly with each other. And
yeah,
can you
like
imagine if everybody supported each other? I mean, what awesome! This would be awesome,
yeah,
right?
like be a community and then also work through collaborations. Like me and you are always collaborating, and we have good shows. Like I enjoy coming on here and we talk about different things, whatever the subject is. Like if you we had that between all the different creators, and we could stick to their like niche or like do kind of like their stuff on their channel, but then they could come and show that, oh, I'm not always like that. Like I could come and I could talk about movies, or I
Yeah,
could come and I could talk about what I feel about Melissa Lucio and stuff. That's how it grows, because then you start sharing audience and then you start getting viewers from someone else, and that's how you really grow.
yeah. In fact, I have something in mind, and I don't know if it's probably gonna shock the crap out of them, but I haven't brought it up yet. I'm not gonna bring it public first. I'm gonna at some point reach out to everyone individually, and I have an idea. And to be later in the year, you'll hear if this worked or not. But and then you got fake profiles, aliases,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people that talk smack behind that they hide behind. And I'm not saying everybody's a fake profile. There are people that do it for legitimate reasons. Their job at school, the things that they do, they'd rather not.
Yeah,
They
make
can't.
public.
They can't be public. They have to. Some people want to criticize the school district, and they work in the school district,
Mm-hmm.
so they got to come up with an alias because they'll get fired or they'll get reprimanded or what do you call that? Not revenge, retaliation.
Retaliation. There we go.
So, and people that work for the government or whoever they work for, they don't want some whacked out haters come out and stalking them at work, and that kind of thing. So I understand being anonymous,
Yeah.
but then you got the ones that really give the anonymous a bad name. They're the ones that go around trolling and talking shit and stirring the pot. And that's so
Mm-hmm.
true. That's so true. And I don't know, the way you deal with that is you
Oh
ignore
yeah.
it. You got to ignore it. You keep giving life to it. You keep giving life to it, then they keep coming back,
Yeah.
and you just gotta ignore it. And it'll die a slow death or whatever, or not, or they'll keep coming back at you. But I pull the plug at a certain, and it's not easy. You want to let people talk and say stuff, but sometimes it's not easy, and so you gotta start blocking or whatever you do to handle that.
Mm-hmm.
You get mods, and then you got to give them direction and try to agree on what's the best way to handle certain things is. And even then, I hate doing it. But if I'm doing a certain show with certain people on a national level, I don't want that shit going on. Those chats coming on there. So, then yeah, I will delete. Block and delete. Because I got some stuff coming up with attorneys and legal people having to do with Melissa Lucio. Any of that talk comes in here, you're gone. I'm not. That's very low tolerance for that when that happens.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's how I do it. Ignore it. Don't feed into it. Don't get baited.
Yeah. And I had to learn that. Because there's someone even to this, well, not to this day, like for over a year period, this one anonymous profile would comment on every single video I made. And it was always like, you're such an embarrassment to your family. You have pathetic content, like going at me. And for a while, I would go back and forth, and we'd have like a 37 string like comments back and forth on my YouTube video.
Damn.
But then eventually, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to acknowledge you anymore. You could comment all you want. I appreciate you giving me the view, giving me the comment, negative or positive. I'm still gonna give you a thumbs up. I'm still gonna heart your comment. And I even like started pinning this person's comments at the top so everyone sees it right away. But I haven't acknowledged this fake account in months, and it's slowly like stopped. Like they got tired of it because I wasn't feeding into it anymore.
Yeah, like I said, exactly. You keep feeding it. You keep feeding into it. It'll stay there forever. And you just got to do that. I mean, they're always going to be there. They're always going to be there.
Yeah.
You just have to. It's how you deal with it. That that says a lot about who you are. You know how you deal with certain things. So, uh, yeah, it's tiring to talk about that. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's got to be talked about. Every once in a while, we got to talk about it. So that's the truth. And then that kind of thing brings a certain kind of crowd. It'll bring a crowd, that's for sure.
Hmm.
I call it the Jerry Springer effect. People like to see. I hear the Jerry Springer crowd, and then so your dilemma is: do you stay with that and then keep an audience and getting likes and views and viewership and all that, or do you just stay out of it, knowing that I could get into that,
Hmm.
but the growth would be faster. But I'm okay with growing organically. Growing organically is naturally the popularity, little by little, increasing. Some people along the way, certain topics or certain shows, or people help out here and there for whatever the reason. That's always appreciated. But yeah, I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave those topics and those what do you call them, arguments or whatever you want to call them. I'll let them handle it because they're good at it, and I'm not. I'm not. I mean, I'd be cussing up a storm, and it would just never end. It'd be I don't know. Anyway, that's where I'm leaving that thing.
Yeah.
What else is going on? What else is going on? I want to watch movies. See, I wanted to show a little bit of Eddie Murphy's Delirious is what I wanted to show. And so I showed that movie Saturday night.
Yeah, I saw that.
The documentary, The State of Texas versus Melissa. And the copyright thing didn't come up, didn't get blocked, didn't get nothing.
Wow.
And I think there's a couple of reasons for that. I kept interrupting with commentary for one. And two, I left this banner that's down here at the bottom, this thing.
Hmm.
I kind of left that, and that covered part of the film, the bottom portion of the film. Maybe that had something to do with it. So that happened, and it was good. And I want to do that again. I want to show a different kind of movie.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of. I don't know if you've heard of Curiosity, that streaming service.
Yes, I have.
I've been thinking about getting that because I feel like just binge watching some documentaries.
Character modeling?
And it's cheap. It's only like $20 a year, and you get all these documentaries.
$20 a year? That's not bad at all.
Yeah, but I have a code. If you use the code FATMAN, it comes out to $14.99 for the entire year.
That's the other thing. Let's talk about fat jokes. Do we really got to go there? Why do we got to go there? I had the reason I bring it up because I had one directed at me a couple days ago, and I'm like, all right, I know I'm not Arnold Schwarzenegger or anything, but I don't think I'm that bad or whatever, that huge or whatever, and I'm not. But people go at you like that. I'm like, well, why you got to go there with that? That's the kind of thing that pisses me off. Like, it's like, come at me with something relevant, something else,
Yeah, like attack me for my ideas, attack me for what I say. Don't resort to playground antics and be all like, oh, let me talk about your looks. Like, you lose all like ground when you start making it like that.
Yeah, don't. And is that a touchy thing for me personally? It's not.
Oh, Sasha, it's called Curiosity.
Yeah,
I just took a peek at the comments.
Curiosity Stream, I think it's called.
Yeah.
But when you start doing people's weight or fat jokes or talking about people's weight, it's like, oh, come on, man. Just what? Is that what you got? Is that all you got? Come out here and debate something or talk about something or discuss something. Whatever. That's another thing I have very low tolerance for. I have some great friends and they're large people and shit. What are you gonna do? They got a weight problem. What are you gonna do? They're trying their hardest. Most of the time, they're trying their hardest.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a different reason. Stuff happening in their life or whatever. It's not easy for anybody. So
Yeah.
That's
I
one
mean,
thing I
like,
got very low tolerance for that too.
yeah, like I'm a big dude. I admit it. Like I'm not hiding it. I'm not. You're not gonna hurt my feelings. Like I'm aware of my size and stuff, but there's times where I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna go work out. Like back when I worked at the fire department, I was given an hour break, and this was like at 2 in the morning. So at 2 in the morning, I would go run like a mile and a half, shower, and go back to work, and that was my routine for months. I slimmed down, I toned out a little bit because I was also doing like other exercises.
Yeah,
But then I was like, you know what? I'm happy. Like let me start doing this. I started getting into cooking, and that's why I gained all the weight back because I'm trying new things. I want to try this, taste that, and I'm happy with it.
yeah. When I was on the road and I was working for the airline, traveling all the time, I think I was home like 5 or 6 days a month. I
Hmm.
was on the road so much, and I was eating bad. It was all fast food, restaurant stuff. It was a bad, horrible diet. Left it, walked away from it a few months ago, stayed home, and then I started losing weight, and I feel so much better. And so, yeah, that struggle is very real. Like somebody said, the battle is real. It is.
Hmm.
It's very, very real. So, anyway, I hope you guys like to talk here because I don't like to sugarcoat stuff. I like to say how it is, um, and that's really how it is. I'm not afraid of things. I'm not afraid to talk about whatever and people criticizing or they want to stream my show for whatever reason. All right, is anybody streaming my show now? Hey, um, so yeah, I don't know. I guess that was just some real straight up opinions.
Good
And
opinions,
don't
though.
forget, don't get me wrong. I'm always up for a good like. Do you remember those jokes? Oh, your mama's so fat, or your mama's
Yeah,
so fat, or you're this. That was funny stuff. That was you did it
yeah,
as kids, and it was funny. You know.
yeah. To where there's even a show where people would just compete and do like mama jokes and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
and that was funny,
Yeah, that was an awesome show. Like I would watch that and then go to school the next day and everyone's repeating it like in their own version and
right?
like that's why no one's feelings got hurt. I don't think a show like that could make it in today's culture. But for the time it was good. I'm glad I got to experience that.
Yeah, and there's a way to do funny stuff. There's a you can come off with you can say something, but people are gonna know that you don't mean it,
Mm-hmm.
or the people know how you are. Let me get rid of this freaking commercial. People know how you are, so they know that you're not being an asshole. You're just, but people, I don't know. It's like we have to retrain people now how to react, how to not get insulted, how to grow thicker skin. And just because you hear, I don't know, I saw the first sign of that problem is when Donald Trump was running for president,
Mm-hmm.
and I heard that universities had was it
Oh, the sit-ins. Like,
safe room? No, safe rooms.
okay, yeah, I remember
It
that.
was a safe room, and I was like, "What? What? What's a safe room?" And now I'm thinking, "Oh, you mean in case there's an active shooter or something?" But no, it was a room where college kids can go in there and cry.
Adults. Like
Adult young
adult.
people can go in there and cry in a room by themselves, and that was safe from any kind of interaction, comment, talk, dialogue. Just
Like
go in a room where nobody would say anything.
yeah, like a physical safe space.
And I swear to God, this is real. It could be as small as a closet or as big as a bedroom, but there was a safe room, and that's when I noticed the first sign of what is this safe room stuff? And then the term snowflake came up, and all that liberal. It got ugly. I'm not gonna get into politics right now. Don't worry.
Yeah, like I don't claim to be part of that generation, even though like I was going to college when that started happening, but I didn't need it. Like I wasn't one of those that needed it. And I,
So
I I think what helps me like with a thick skin is uh when I worked for PD and fire department, it was you need to have a thick skin because you're dealing with like life changing moments. So that's where I got like kind of a dark sense of humor. They said I had a real dry sense of humor because I would say things as if I was serious about it, and it was
mm,
like a serious thing, but they knew I was just joking.
yeah,
Like like I would pretend the phone's ringing and I'll be all like, "Oh, someone else will get it." Like, but it's a 911 call. Like, you can't ignore it. I was like, if it's important, they'll call back. Like, I
Yeah.
would say like stuff like that. And also like with my friends and even here at home, we like throwing like little jabs at each other, but it comes out of love. Like I understand, like they know I don't mean these things. I know they don't mean these things. So yeah, like I'm gonna throw like a little insult here or there. So like that's why I'm always like quick on like coming back with rebuttals and stuff like that.
Yeah. Somebody was asking a question in the comments about people that are, there are people that come and they troll, and again, that's one of those things where I don't want to block if somebody who's being respectful, and maybe respectful is the wrong word. Um, Not starting crap. If there's a
Hmm.
word, if there's a one word for not starting crap, um, I'm okay with that. But then there's always like little pot shots they take and little underhanded comments that people want to start to kind of provoke and get a rise out of somebody.
Hmm.
And I have a problem with that, especially when it's people that you don't want to expect that from.
Yeah,
And and
people are
and,
saying like instigators.
and I understand the need to respond to that kind of stuff, but here I ask all of you respectfully, don't fall for that crap. You know, don't fall for that. I'm trying to. They got the mods. I know they're working overtime right now, and they really are. And it's a thing that I don't want. And again, pay no attention to it, and it'll at some point it'll go away, or they'll get tired, or they'll I don't know redirect somewhere.
Yeah,
Make somebody else a target or whatever. But it's just you guys on your own can block stuff. I think I'm not even sure exactly
yeah,
how
you
that
can.
works.
Yeah, individuals could block.
And if it gets to there's a certain point that they already know I have in mind, then yeah, things will happen. But I think certain people know how to ride that line,
Hmm.
and so it's like, right, watching, I am, and at some point it's just going to be a outright block because I don't want to deal with this crap every day and all the time, and I don't got time for that shit. Go do something productive. Go do something else. There's other things to do in life, you know.
Yeah, and then
And
by giving into it and giving rebuttals, that just shows that person that they are getting to you. They are
yeah,
winning because they're
yeah.
getting you to come out.
Does it get to me personally? No, I don't care. They want to say whatever they want or whatever. It's just starting shit with other people, with getting for a reaction, and then once you guys start reacting, oh, forget it. There it goes. And then it's back and forth, and it's like,
Yeah, at that point, we're just trying to get the show and the comment section back on rails, and
yeah, yeah. And
yeah,
I'm not name calling anybody, but you know what? I'm 53 years old. 53. I don't got time for that shit. That's juvenile grammar school stuff. I don't got time for that shit. I don't look 53, and I know, I understand, but I don't got time for that. It's just I don't know. It boggles my mind how that stuff keeps happening. And you know what? I have these conversations in other parts of the country, other shows that I do with other people. Yeah, it's not like this at all, and everybody's amazed. And I can't explain it. I think it's a cultural thing, but I don't know. So anyway, I don't want to pay a lot of attention to that crap. I keep coming back to it, and at some point, it had to be addressed or talked about. Um,
yeah. I have someone asking about my live. YouTube took it down already. They weren't happy with it.
why?
I was showing some of my favorite scenes from the new Spider-Man movie.
Uh, oh,
Uh,
speaking of that, yeah. Oh, okay, go ahead. Go ahead, finish up.
yeah. Even though I altered the speed, I was pausing it every now and then and just talking about like, okay, this happened because in the comic book, this is why they shot it this way. This is why this person said. So I was doing a breakdown. I was doing commentary. I sent in an appeal. Hopefully, it is. If not, it's still live on Facebook. And interesting thing. I'm doing a giveaway on that video, so if you stay through at some
snap.
point in that video,
I got to give away
uh,
too. Yeah.
I mention a giveaway, and the giveaway window is open until Friday. Friday night, Saturday morning, I'll pick a winner live.
Oh, that's cool.
I'll pick a winner live, and all the winner just has to tell me like a superhero they like, and I'm gonna create a box catered to that hero they like, or that their child might like, or their nephew might like, and I'm gonna throw in like a bunch of goodies of that hero, like comic books, action figures, maybe a couple of candies or two, or I'm gonna make a fun little box.
Nice. That's awesome. And what video is that so they can watch? They know what you're talking about.
On my Facebook, it's the Spider-Man video.
The Spider-Man video. Okay.
Yeah, because I was mentioning that a supporter got me this. I said I was gonna mess with the Legos. Supporter got me the Batmobile from the new one. So I was like, if someone gave me something, I want to give something away too. So that's what I'm gonna do.
That's cool. Yeah, I got somebody. I gave away a T-shirt last week. I think it was maybe almost 2 weeks ago. I need to ship that out. That's going to be going out in the next day or so. If you were the winner of that T-shirt, I didn't forget about you. That's going to go out. Somebody donated Camille Leitner Playhouse 2 tickets to the Jekyll and Hyde play.
Ooh.
So I'm going to give away a pair of tickets to that. I think I'm going to do it on Thursday. And I'll put a special hashtag. That's only during that show. It's not nothing you got to do before, nothing you can do afterwards. It's only during that Thursday night show. And a pair of tickets to see Jekyll and Hyde. You know, you pick your day whenever you want to go, and they'll be there for you. So a couple of people donated for that, including cooperation with the Camille Leitner Playhouse as well. So that should be fun. I'll make a whole other ad for that tomorrow probably.
Yeah, I saw that interview. That was a pretty good interview.
That was fun. It was fun. You know,
Yeah.
these kids like to be on TV and on the stage, and it's nice to give them some exposure. So
Yeah, and I love, like, I wasn't able to be a theater kid, but I love theater. Like when I went to Chicago, I went to go see Oprah was producing The Color Purple, or The Color Purple.
Oh yeah,
there in Chicago, and I got to go see that, and I had like awesome seats, and it was amazing.
So on Hulu, I think it's Hulu or maybe it's HBO. There's a movie called The Hunter. Steve McQueen, his last film before he passed away, early 80s. There's 3 scenes in that movie. I was on the sidelines on the sidewalk watching them film that, and it came out in the movie. I got to meet Steve McQueen. It was freaking awesome. I was too young to understand. I know he was on TV and he was in movies, but now I'm like a real big fan of his. Another movie, The Untouchables. Remember with Kevin Costner?
Oh, Untouchables is awesome.
Kevin Costner and Sean Connery. The opening scene. Remember that opening scene where they blow up the bar?
Yeah.
I was across the street watching that happen. I was on my way home from school, and they're like, "Okay, everybody, stop, stand over here." And then boom, and all that stuff happened. So, The Fugitive. I was there watching scenes from that. Chuck Norris with Code of Silence, made in Chicago. He's a Chicago cop. I was there watching scenes from that. Steven Seagal, Above the Law, Chicago movie. I was there watching scenes of being filmed. So Chicago movies are pretty good. The Blues Brothers, the Blues Brothers. Anything Chicago, we can. Maybe I should do a Chicago movie night.
Yeah.
Like that. You know,
the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. Gotham is based out of Chicago.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
a lot
right.
of Chicago for that. No, I'm sorry, I was distracted. I just got an email from YouTube. Saying that they reviewed my video and it does not violate, so my video is back on YouTube if anyone wants to go watch.
Oh, cool. There you go.
Yeah, that doesn't violate, so I get to use the scenes in the movie, and I had a lot of fun with that, so I'm glad they put it back up.
The one thing I was going to say was earlier I restreamed a VT video, the VT Chronicles, right?
Yeah.
And I caught it late. Somebody sent me a message, so I thank you so much. You know who you are. And I ran over there and I streamed the last, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the only intent was, shit, is that too loud? The only intent was I wanted her take on the Will Smith, what happened last night. I just wanted her opinion. I wanted to see what she had to say.
Yeah.
So I recorded it, and then we were all treated to a song, and it was
Oh,
oh,
she got you.
it was Michael Jackson's "Man in the Mirror,"
Oh, I love that song though.
and then she started singing with it, bro. And it was, what's the word? Cringe-worthy.
Mm.
And she kept saying, "Oh, they're gonna delete it. They're gonna stop the video. They're gonna block it." And sure enough, they did. And then her live was over. And shortly thereafter, mine was canceled by Facebook. And they were like, "Do you want to fight it, or do you want to?" Think, nah, I'll just screw it. I'll just delete the video, no problem. But on YouTube, it's still there. So if you want to, if you
other way around,
right? So if you want to watch that, go to YouTube and scroll towards the end, and you can be serenaded to Michael Jackson's "Man in the Mirror." It was quite something.
Are you a man with
I love that song though.
And somebody said you should have sang with her next time. I said, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not. Yeah, no. So anyway, if somebody wants to watch that, it hasn't been copyright whatever on YouTube, so the video's still there. It's not on Facebook, but it is on YouTube.
Well, I think with YouTube, because she was singing along, it was taken in as its like own thing, since she was singing like over it, not just playing the song on its own. So I think
okay,
maybe that's how it kind of beat the system, because she was kind of making it her own.
Yeah, maybe that could be it. Anyway, if you're up for a cringy moment, there you go. It's a little entertaining to a certain extent.
I'm gonna go sing it now. I love that song.
But it was, yeah, I mean, the song is great. That's one of his, Michael Jackson's greatest songs.
Yeah.
And let's see, anywhere. I think that's it. We're almost at an hour and a half. I was trying to keep it to an hour. Tomorrow is another day.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, please give me a couple of more subscribes. I'm trying to get to 1,000. That way I can do what do you call that? The chat, super chat, or something like that.
Super chat.
Yeah, I want to at least get that up there and some other stuff. I'm at 795, I think. I think that's where I'm at. Let's take a quick look on YouTube. I am at 797. I need 3 more to make 800, and then a couple hundred after that. And so it's been a slow process, you know. They got these.
You're doing good though.
They got these services you can pay for. Oh yeah, we'll get you 1,000. 1,000 subscribers, but those are all phony and fake, and
you get your channel like taken down for that.
Yeah, and I don't want to do that. I legit, I like it. I mean, when you guys like my page, I want you to come and watch stuff, and I want to do interesting things for you to be really engaged about and talk about. It's not that I just want them for no reason. There's a purpose to all of it. And I mean, what's the point of having a show if nobody's watching and interacting? And even if it was 12 people, if there are 12 are interacting, then I'm okay with that too. But
definitely.
Anyway, all right. That's what I want to. Go ahead.
Also, I could use a couple for some reason. Since November, I've been stuck within the same 10 subscribers. Like, I'm losing, but I'm gaining. I'm losing, and I'm gaining. If I could at least cross the 1,400 mark, I'm at 1,397.
Oh, okay.
And I just want to get that, because it's been bothering me that I got up to like 99, and then some reason it dropped to like 91. It'll go to 95, and then 90. So I don't know what's going on. Like, I just can't break that wall. And it's
I know. It's been hard watching my YouTube just crawl.
Yeah.
And yes, in the last couple of weeks, the last month maybe, it's kind of it's really taken a big boost, and it's nice to watch that. But
yeah,
it's still it's really slow, and I have to quit watching. Is what I got to do, because I keep I'll check in the morning, and I'll check in the afternoon, and I'll check at night. It's like I got to quit doing that. I just got to stop doing that. I'm going to drive myself crazy.
Yeah,
just like people who watch it
all the time, and I had to delete that app because I would wake up and check during the day and check before I went to bed, and that was horrible. I hated it.
It's like people watching the stock market. They started investing, and now every day they're watching their stock.
Oh, that's me.
But you can't do that. You can't do that. You gotta invest and then walk away and don't look at it for 6 months
Yeah.
because it's going to go up and down more than up a lot of times. But
Yeah. With my stocks, I don't look at them as much anymore. But with my cryptocurrency, that I'm always checking just to see, what's going on.
yeah,
And today was
Yeah.
great. Today, I think my cryptocurrency was about 22% up. So I was like, I'm happy.
nice. That's good. All right, I'm going to call it a night. Vic, thanks for hanging out.
Always.
Opinions are much appreciated. Everyone in the comments, awesome. I love you guys interacting and talking and getting through some of the rough stuff on there. I appreciate you keeping it cool, keeping it as real as you can. I promise. I really appreciate it. This week, I got coming up more Melissa Lucio stuff. I told you it's going to be like that for a few more weeks, and I think it's important.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's needed.
I got into a conversation almost. No, not into a conversation. Let me get this freaking ads out. Damn it, I keep forgetting. Then I hear the voice. Back up. Blah, blah, blah. So Selena Flores, Melissa's daughter, was on TikTok the other day, and she's talking about, oh yeah, I want to talk to one of these platforms to a show, but I don't want it to be anybody. If you can recommend anybody. So I put a comment. I'm like, hey, you know what? I wanted to talk to you guys, but then I don't want to exploit the situation. I think it's important for you guys to become united as one instead of all separated. So I would love to have her on and have a legit talk. She had a problem with the guy from Lone Star Plate, and things got shady or sketchy, and that's what I don't want to happen here. Patrick from Lone Star Plate is a decent dude, and I think people in the family were just messing with him too much, and it's going to become a mockery of it, and I don't want that. I don't want it to be like that. I want it to be a legit, calm, sane conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of reached out and I said, I'm still open to it, but let's talk before. And I don't know. She doesn't think I'm legit. She keeps thinking I'm going to edit the video, and it's like, it's not a video. It's live. It's all live, and I'm going to leave it live. I don't edit anything. So we'll see.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see what happens. Anyway, I'll update you guys tomorrow on what's coming up, and I'll let you know if anything good is coming up. Vic, thanks for hanging out, buddy. I appreciate it.
Always. I love being here.
We'll see you all tomorrow night. And let's see, anything else? Did we cover everything that I wanted to for tonight? I think so.
I think so.
But
I do have a topic that I want to talk about. We'll talk about it after the live to see.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, everyone. Have a great night. Thanks for hanging out with us. See you tomorrow.
Right. You have a good one.